Sunny, I am absolutely delighted to have you on Filme Shilmy. I mean, I think you've been, I think one of the most prominent people that we've had on the platform. In fact, we've done so many
Yeah,
interviews together, and I'm really, really glad that finally we're chatting after the success of Shiddat. So, a huge congratulations and a warm welcome to you.
thank you. Thank you so much, Anuj. Thank you so much.
So, I mean, I think last time we spoke was actually during, I think Forgotten Army had released, and we were
Yeah,
talking about how that was a very different sort of aspect for you to explore as an actor. And here,
yeah,
Shiddat is
yeah,
a lot more of a commercial role for you.
yeah.
So how was your experience of playing Jaggi and exploring this whole aspect of love and fate in Shiddat?
I think it was quite refreshing because I had never done an out and out or even explored an out and out romantic story or a character, you know.
Hmm.
And here was a character which was not just a lover boy. He had a particular philosophy that he ran with in his life, which was really simple. So that was quite refreshing for me to get into and understand what he thinks and where he comes from, and just to be a part of the story was beautiful.
Hmm. It's quite ironic how your character in Bhangra Pale was called Jaggi, and then you also
Jaggiya, yeah,
and you also had Jaggi in Shiddat as well. So it's quite interesting how that's all played out in that
yeah,
sense too. But Sunny, it's quite interesting for you because I feel like I mean, Gold wasn't your debut. It was like your
hmm.
second film. But it
Yeah, second
almost
film, yeah,
seems like it almost seems like you've almost like a newcomer in that sense because of the fact that
hmm.
Gold really, really exploded and Bhangra Pale did really, really well as well. I mean, that was a great film, by the way. I wanted to just
Yeah. Thank you.
that. So, does it ever feel very surreal for you? I mean, do you feel the sense of people treating you like a debutante because of the fact that you kind of had that breakthrough, so to speak, with Gold, and now seeing the emerging works from you as well?
Yeah, a lot of people think that Shiddat is my debut film. So, so I've been getting a lot of DMs and messages saying that, yeah, oh man, it's your debut film, man. You've performed so well, and the film is so good. And I just say thank you. So yeah, I mean, but it's a part of the journey. It's good that people think it's your first film. I hope they continue to do so. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it is really funny actually because it just feels very surreal because it's almost like as if they've not really, it's almost like people only congratulate you when you're successful. They only view success
Yeah,
as when it's a mainstream thing or when it's something really that prominent, but they don't actually
yeah,
quite
yeah,
recognize that every
yeah.
achievement is a success, right? So I do understand.
Exactly. Yes.
I understand
Yes.
that as well. But I think we live in a generation, Sunny, where everything is instant. सब कुछ मतलब
Hmm.
आसानी से मिल जाता है आजकल.
बिल्कुल.
I mean, but
Yeah.
Shiddat, in that sense, it seems to be like a reminder that there is a higher power at play, and nothing is
Yes.
ever in our control, especially when it
Yes.
comes to love. So
Yeah.
what to what extent do you believe in fate? And has it, and can you recount a time in your life where destiny really changed your life drastically, but things weren't in your control?
Um, I would say that would be Shiddat.
Mm.
It is changing things for me, and see when I got Shiddat, I was just fresh out of Gold. And there was a little appreciation and people noticed me a bit, but that was really different because I was playing somebody who was far away from me in terms of the era that he was in, the kind of person that he was, the kind of things that he did in the film, the sports and everything, or where he came from was very different. And I really wanted to do a film that is today, that is new, that is grounded in today's world. Uh, so I was looking for stuff at that time, and Shiddat happened when I met Dinesh Vijan and Kunal Deshmukh for the film. So yeah, I would say it's Shiddat, and I do completely believe in. I believe in two things. I believe in fate and hard work,
Mm.
out of which one is in our control, one isn't, and that's hard work, right? So hard work is in
Mm.
our control, and we have to just do that thing which is in our control to our best possible capabilities, and never shy away from anything that you think will make that thing happen for you that you're running for, and then the rest is fate. If and then if it's written, it's written. If it's not, then you keep trying and you keep trying and not get disheartened.
Sure. Now, intense love stories, and I think tackling concepts which are related to matters of the heart,
Mm,
it's never really easy to portray. I mean, how does one portray heartbreak, right? Like, if we actually think about it, I mean, and that I
mm,
think, and then I think that's what's really interesting about love stories, and what I find very fascinating about stories
mm.
like Shiddat and characters like Jaggi. So, I guess how emotionally challenging was it for you, as an actor, to sort of present such high octane sentiments through the film?
What was challenging was to understand where Jaggi came from. Um, because, see, if I talk about superficial characterization, like, how he looked or how he spoke or how energetic he was, all that is great. You can do that once you understand that. But where all that comes from is what mattered here. It's not just he's not so jumpy and so on his toes and always so positive because that's what the character is. There is something behind it. There is a thought process which you see throughout the film, no matter what the situation is. So I think that was the challenge to get into Jaggi, is to just understand what his motivation was to do what he does, and that gets tested time and again in the film.
Hmm.
I think the first prominent time when you understand what, for me, that was for me when I read the script, is when I understood what Jaggi is when uh, that heartbreak happens and Kartika says that, whatever happened is, just forget about it and I'm going to get married and just leave it. And the next thing you know, he's come to that party and instead of being all heartbroken, he just jumps out and starts doing yama yama. And the thought behind that whole scene was, as entertaining as it is, the thought was that if it's the last day and if he loves this girl, he will not let her go without a smile on her face. So he will do
Hmm.
whatever it takes to put a smile on her face. And if this is the last time she's going to meet me, then I'll make sure that she remembers me like this and not like a sad guy who's just, heartbroken. And I think that's what defined Jaggi for me throughout the film.
Right. Now, I know Shiddat was originally supposed to release in cinemas. In fact, you were
Yeah,
in
yeah,
London. I remember you were in London as well, actually,
yeah,
to shoot for it.
yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, how did you, I mean, what was your sentiments like when you kind of found out that it was going to release on Hotstar, Disney Plus Hotstar, rather than actually having a theatrical release? I guess that must have triggered some emotions as well in you. So, talk me through that emotions.
No, actually, no, because see, the thing was that last year when the pandemic hit, the things changed so much across the globe. So many people lost their lives, their loved ones. Things were, lives were overturned, and then to sit back and say, "Oh, my film is not going to release in theaters and in OTT," is just really shallow and insensitive.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm made like that. So I am grateful that the film got to see the light of the day, considering the current situation. And you see, at the end of the day, we make films to entertain people, and platform is just a medium.
Mhm.
Whether it's in the cinemas or it's on OTT. And Hotstar is, I think, by far the largest. It has the largest subscriber base in India. So we were really fortunate to tie up with Hotstar for Shiddat. But it's been 2 years and we've made the film, and so we all knew that it was going to come on an OTT platform. As much as we would have loved it to come on in the theaters, because it had the larger than life feeling and the songs and the music and everything.
Mm.
But we're really grateful that we got to put it on OTT.
Mhm.
Also to tie into that, the one thing that this pandemic has taught us is that no matter how much you plan your life, it's never going to be the way you've planned it to be. You can just you can expect the unexpected all the time.
Right. And I also think the fact that, the digital mediums have actually provided a platform for actors to sort of present different calibers, different strands to them as actors as well. Like we saw
Yeah.
you in The Forgotten Army, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I really, really loved that series, as you already know.
Thank you.
So in what way do you feel that such roles, I think, or such opportunities will sort of pave way for you in terms of more unique opportunities for you to sort of expand yourself and display more versatility to you as an actor?
Actually, it's not. I don't think in those terms. See, because I'm here, I love acting. I love what I do, and I think I've told you this before that I do this because my main motivation is to entertain people,
Mhm.
right? And I love my art. I love those few minutes between action and cut, and that's what I live for. So me being a part of this profession and being an actor, it's my job to explore different characters, to to portray them so that the audience can see them in flesh.
Mhm.
Whatever somebody has conjured in their head and then written it on a piece of paper, it's my job to portray it, and that's what I look for. I look for different shades of people. I look for just different characters,
Mhm.
uh, and they can be different from me or they can be similar to me, but they just need to have something which kind of makes me feel like, okay, this is something I need to do, I need to portray, I need to be
Mhm.
able to give it to people, you know.
Sure.
So yeah.
Mhm. So, I mean, I think whenever, like you said, especially with the pandemic and what it has taught us is we can't plan anything, and even if we do,
Yeah.
life always
Mm.
has different plans for us.
Yeah.
And I think whenever I've spoken with actors as well, generally, success and failure is something which is obviously beyond their control,
Yep.
But I mean,
Yep.
how do you deal with rejection and failure in particular? Like, what is your mindset like in terms of dealing with either or?
Man, listen, I don't take success or failure very seriously. It's a part and parcel, and I understand that. So yeah, you do get disheartened because if you want something really bad and you work hard for it, and if it doesn't give you um, the desired result or the desired appreciation, then you do feel bad. But that doesn't mean that you get bogged down by it so much that it disturbs my night and sleep and peace of mind. I don't let that get to my head. Or success, like with Shiddat, I'm getting hundreds of messages every day where people are appreciating the film, the performance, and that's all really new to me. But I'm just, Dad always says one thing, that the more successful you get, you should always get even more humble. So you have to just keep your head down and your demeanor high, and then just roll with it.
Hmm. I'm sure it must be a very proud moment for Sham sir as well, because he sees two of
Yeah.
his sons doing really, really well in the industry as well. So I guess that must be quite a very heartwarming sort of sentiment that he must have too, right? Like I'm sure he's probably said that to you. But I think because of the fact that Kusham sir is amazing at what he does, as a stunt
Yeah. Yeah.
personality,
Yeah.
and obviously your brother Vicky Kaushal as well is a great actor, and he's very celebrated and loved. But I
Yeah.
think what was the, like the fact that you are so closely linked to that industry in that sense.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
you obviously began from the grassroots, though. You began
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
your own exposure. So what did you learn from that exposure as an assistant director in films, with films like Gunde and stuff? So what did you learn from that about the industry and about the craft?
Uh, my sole purpose to be an assistant director and to work behind the camera for those couple of projects was to understand how the industry works, because that I just feel that if you know how things work in your
Hmm.
profession, it just makes you more compassionate towards it. It makes you less selfish and self-centered with just the part that you're playing in the whole profession, because it's like a clockwork. You know,
Sure. Mhm.
there are hundreds of people, there are hundreds of technicians, and daily wage workers, and everybody who's come together that day in that minute to make that one shot happen, and the face of that shot is the actors, right?
Mm.
So it obviously, as an audience, you connect with the actors and you connect with the characters, and they take home all the accolades and everything. But there is a team, there is a crew of 200 and 250 people for that one moment. And I just wanted to kind of understand that. And that, I think, has what it's given me more than my technical knowledge and my knowledge about the art and craft. It's made me realize that I'm not the only one in this. It's like, it's filmmaking is not a, it's not just a director's. Obviously, he's a captain of the ship, So all the respect to the director of the film, but it's also the light man. It's also the cinematographer. It's all the spot boys who are there to feed you, to if you're thirsty, to give you water, because you wouldn't survive without them otherwise.
Sure.
All the makeup artists, the hairstylists, everybody, because they. So I think that's what I got from being an assistant director, is a lot of compassion towards these different aspects, and a lot of gratitude for them, that they make this happen for us.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful to hear.
I'm definitely open to exploring new stuff. That's one thing I hope I don't shy away from, no matter how much success I get. Because you know what, I always want to be, I always want to have my back against the wall when I'm doing stuff, because I think that's what makes me tick as an actor. So I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to be so, which is why I want to keep exploring different stuff and looking for stuff that is out of my comfort zone.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But I think generally it's been a wonderful time, Sunny. I think we've got some amazing work to see from you. Since Gold.
Thank you.
Obviously we had Bhangra Pale, we had Forgotten Army, and now we've got Shiddat. So in fact, is there anything in the pipeline that we can look forward to from you before I let you go?
Yeah, there's a film called Hurdang, which means chaos, actually. Yeah, so that's me, Nushat Barocha, and Vijay Verma. That's an interesting project. That's something which is really off, which I've never touched upon ever. In fact, I didn't have any knowledge about it before I read the script, so I had to do a lot of research. Yeah, so it's basically not a period film. You can't say it's based in 1990s.
Okay.
So a retro kind of a film, and in Allahabad, India. So I play a college student, and it's a lot of college politics around it. So that's something very new for me. And that film is, I mean, that film, when I read, the conscious thought was like, this is something that will break me as an actor. So I have to do this. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. I mean, is there any updates on when it's releasing, or when it will come out? I mean, is it due for?
As of now, I have no idea.
No,
I have no idea, because it's in the last stages. We just a couple of months ago, we finished a couple of scenes. Because of pandemic, we had to keep pushing things. So just like a couple of months ago, we finished the final scenes of the film, and so I think it's in the last legs now. So once the film is ready on table, I think is when the makers will decide what to do with it.
Okay, well, look, I think it'll be wonderful, and it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Again, you have this tryst with doing like films which are sort of based on important events in the past as well. Like you had Gold, then you had Army, and now you've got Hurdang coming up. So it's quite interesting how you've had this sort of link with history.
Yeah, now that you say, I hadn't thought about it, man. That's a pattern.
Yeah, even Bhangra Pale, because you played a character in the past as well, right?
Past, yeah.
That's really
wow, yeah. Okay, that's quite interesting. That's something to think about now.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I think it's wonderful. But look, Sunny, it's always such a joy to speak with you and to always catch up with you.
Thank you.
And
yeah,
I did your first UK interview actually, I think in 2019. I can never forget that podcast. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And to see the journey that you've had since then, I think it's wonderful and very inspiring to me as well. And I'm just really proud of you.
Thank you so much, Anuj. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Well, look, wishing you all the very best, Sunny. Thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy, and take care.
To you too. It was a pleasure talking to you, man. See you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.